Hi everybody, it's Geordie from Geordie Colours. Thank you for joining me today. I have a little bit of a different video for you this morning. I wanted to do a little bit of swatching. I recently got my hands on these Ohuhu Dual Brush Pens. They're water-based markers, and I had been in the market for some water-based markers for a while. I was considering buying some Tombos. I did actually buy some Tombos. I bought one set of Tombos to try them out because I don't have any. But I saw these and decided to grab them because, well, for two reasons. The price was absolutely amazing, and I have the Ohuhu alcohol markers and I've been really impressed with those. I think they're really, really good quality, very much comparable to Copics, and I really rate them. So I figured maybe the brush markers, the water brush markers, would be in the same kind of style, same kind of quality. So I thought I would try them out. Now, I paid 88 dirhams for these, which is roughly, I think, around 24 US dollars, around about 20 British pounds, which I thought was pretty cheap for a set of 100 markers. In comparison, these were the cheapest Tombos I could find on the market, and these were pretty much half the price of all the other sets. So I bought this set of 10 markers, and this was 44 dirhams, so half the price of these, but there's only 10 in here. So these were around about, I think around about 12 US dollars, about 10 pounds, which is actually really cheap for Tombos. Normally I see them on sale for a lot more expensive, but as I say, I got a good deal on these ones. So 10 markers for 44, 100 for 88. So it was kind of a bit of a no-brainer. I thought I would try them out and give them a go. So I'm not going to use this as a kind of like my thoughts on how good they perform, because I haven't used them yet. I'm just going to be doing some swatching, having a look at them, showing you how they come packaged, and maybe compare them to the Tombos in terms of size and what the brushes look like and that sort of thing. But I don't want to go out and say that they're amazing because I haven't used them yet. But I just wanted to do some swatching and show you how they came. So first of all, I thought the packaging was super cute. It's so pretty. It's this lovely, quite good quality card box. And it's got this beautiful floral pattern on it, and it's a lovely color. And it's a magnetic closure, so it's got this kind of magnetic lid, which is pretty strong, as you can see. And when you open it up, you have inside, there's a little bit of foam which protects the markers. And I was pleasantly surprised to find that you get some extra nibs. So you get 3 extra brush tips and 2 of the extra tiny little bullet nibs. So that's really handy because yeah, sometimes you do need to change the tips out, and I thought that was a really cool little extra to get thrown in there. Then of course you have the markers themselves, so 100 in here. I haven't pulled them all out yet, but in the back, if I can slide it out, you also get a swatch chart. So there is one that's already pre-colored for you, and then there is 2 separate little cards for you to swatch out yourself. So that's what's inside the box, and then the markers themselves. So let's pull some out to have a look. So this is what the marker itself looks like. It's obviously dual tipped, so you can see at one end you have a brush, and at one end you have the kind of fine liner. They are numbered, so they do have numbers, and they do have obviously the colored tops. So one end is smaller and it has a smooth barrel. The other one is larger and has kind of a bit of a ribbed barrel at the bottom, so you can tell the difference between the brush end and the fine liner end. All of them are white, barreled in the middle with black writing on them. And they are quite, I guess they're quite small. Let's have a look. I'll show you compared to a Tombow, because I think Tombos are the ones that most people kind of know and recognize. So for comparison, I mean, there's not a huge difference in the barrel size. Tombos are longer, you see that there, but other than that, they're pretty yeah, I mean, there's not a huge difference in the actual size of the barrel. Let's have a look at that brush nip. So here is the brush end. It actually looks at very good quality. I'm hoping you can see that. It does look really nice. It's got a nice fine point on it. And it does look like a really nice brush nib. On the other end, you have the fine liner, and it is super fine. So it's really fine, really dainty, kind of a small little tip there. Again, let's have a look at the Tombos, because again, I don't know that on the right way. I don't know too much about the Tombos, having not used them before. But I would say that the Tombow brush is maybe a little bit thicker at the base, but again, they look fairly similar just by looking at them. I'm not sure how much you can tell from just looking at a brush marker, I don't know. The bullet, or the kind of fine liner end of the Tombow is definitely much thicker than the one on the Ohuhus. But that's just a quick little look. So I'm going to pop these aside and then we'll start swatching them out and have a look at the colours. Okay, so one thing I noticed with these markers is that they're not in any particular order in the box. So I'm just going to pull them out and start swatching them according to their number. I'm not the neatest colorist. I will speed through this a little bit for you and add some music to it so that you don't have to listen to me droning on and on and on. And we'll just speed it up and have a look at the colors. Okay, so there's the swatch chart. Mine's not particularly neat, but I just wanted to throw some color down there to have a look. Yeah, I mean, when I saw this, I was quite excited because it looked like there were quite a few pastel-y type lighter colors. But once you swatch them out, you can see they're quite a lot darker than they appear on this swatch chart. And actually some of them are completely different, like 37 here kind of looks like a minty greenish color. In real life it's actually a highlight yellow, so completely different to that. So I don't think this is particularly accurate, but I suppose it's kind of handy to have. There are quite a few that are very similar. If you have a look at these first three reds, for example, they're very similar to each other. These two pinks are quite similar. So yeah, there's a lot of kind of almost double ups, I would say. But overall a pretty good selection of colors. I'm a bit disappointed that there's not more paler colors. When I'm using my water-based markers, I want to use them for basing, so I like to have light colors to do that because I want this to be my lightest shade. So they're probably a bit dark and bright for that purpose, I think, but I think I could probably still use them. The colors match, let's have a look, to some extent the color on the tip. So this is 3. Let's have a look at another one and just see. This one is 58. So yeah, the color of the tip is pretty close match to the actual color of the pen, which is quite good and quite handy. So that's positive. Let's have a look at how it works with some water. So I've just got this is just a little book that I use for swatching things out. The paper it's not brilliant, but it's okay, and I kind of want to see how it performs on thinner paper anyway. So I'm just going to grab, this is the 58, and I'm going to place some straight down onto the paper, and then I'm going to get my water brush pen here, and I'm just going to make sure that it's working. I'll get some water flowing through, and then I'm just going to see how it works and whether it's going to spread around. So not a great deal. Okay, I've used quite a bit of water there and it's not really moving. So it's not moving a great deal like that. Let's use it this way. If I put some down on an acrylic block here and pick it up with my water brush. Let's see. Okay, so that works quite nicely. And you can see the difference between the colors, so you can definitely get a lighter color by using it with this method of putting it down on an acrylic block and spreading it over. Let's just see how far out I can drag that color. So yeah, you can get a nice range of color doing it that way. I'll do a little bit more over here. So yeah, it does kind of spread out, and obviously using water helps to lighten the color, which might be a good method if, for basing. I wanted to see whether they blend together, so let me see. Let's take an orangey color and a red maybe, and just see if we can get them to blend on the page. So I've got number 1 and number 44 here. So yeah, it's quite hard to get them to actually blend on the paper. I mean, this, like I say, this paper isn't the best quality. It's just kind of like a little book that I use for doing stuff like this, messing around with that. I do have some Zig Clean Color Real Brush markers, and I find that they're the same. They don't work very well on most papers. The only paper that I've found them to work well on is Bristol Smooth cardstock. So yeah, I'm not gonna take offense from this, but let's do this and see how it works with some water. I'm sure that this will work nicely. So I'll pick up a little bit of the red and then go in with the orange. Yeah, you can get it to blend quite nicely using the water and that kind of method. I think that will work quite nicely. I just want to compare it to the Tombos because, like I said, I've never used Tombos before, so I'm kind of interested to see how they work and whether it's any different. So I've got, this is 757 in the Tombow. So I'm going to rub a little bit on there, and then I'm going to see if I can move it with the water brush. So it's pretty much the same actually, it's no different. I'm not getting much movement there from using the water brush on top of the colour on the paper. So let's try blending. Got the 757 and then the 679. Oh, this is almost black. I didn't realise how dark that was. So again, it's not blending particularly well on the paper there like that. I don't have a blender pen for either of these sets, I should say, so maybe a blender pen would be the way forward. Let's try doing this method and see how it works. I just kind of wanted to get an idea comparing the two to see whether they're similar or different. Oh, I like this colour. That's nice. Okay, so yeah, again, you can blend it quite nicely if you add the water and do this kind of pick-up method. I do think probably looking at it, there's a lot more pigment in the Tombos than there is in the Ohuhus, in terms of like when you pick it up and you spread it. Let's just do another little test with that. So we got this kind of gradient effect from one sweep. I'm just going to see how far we can blend this out. Obviously it's a darker colour, so it's probably not very accurate. But yeah, that goes quite a long way. Oh, I really like that colour. That's really pretty. So yeah, I like them. I just feel like I'm a little restricted with the colour palette. I would have liked to have seen some more, as I say, pastel type shades in there, but it's a good range of colours. I mean, there's plenty of reds, plenty of oranges, not quite so many yellows, although there's quite a few browns, not a huge range of greys, but a few, plenty of greens and blues. Overall, I think it's not too bad, and obviously you could mix the colours together so to create a new colour. So I'm going to do this really quickly. My block's getting a bit of a mess. Let's just say I put a bit of red and a bit of yellow. Sorry, I know that's pretty hard to see on that. A bit of orange, and I'll take my water brush and blend these two together and try and create a new colour. So you can definitely, you know, make your own colours as well. So you're not restricted to, you know, what's in the pen. But yeah, I think probably this method would be the method that I would use most with these pens, picking it up with water and using it as a water colour for a base layer, because it just comes out much paler than the original colour here, which is what I would want for a base layer. But they're nice markers. I think the quality looks really good. They seem quite nice and juicy. I didn't have any issues with any dryness or anything like that. I will just show you I'm not really going to plan to use the fine tip end, but it is very fine, as you can see, so a really fine tip. And obviously your brush, you can have kind of larger strokes, or you can do smaller strokes with the tip, and probably finer than that if you were more careful than me. But overall, I'm pretty happy with them. I think they're going to be good. I'm going to have fun playing around with them. Would I choose them over Tombos? I think for the price, they're amazing. Like I said, I've never really used the Tombos before, and this is my first set, these 10 that I have. But I do really like them. The colours are really nice. I think they're really, really attractive colours. But again, you've got some really lovely colours in here as well. I think I just need to play around with them a bit more and see what I can do with them a little bit more. I think for the price, they're amazing value. They're really, really good. I love the packaging that they come in. I love the fact that they seem really good quality. The brush nibs seem very, very good quality. They're juicy, they're not dry, they're not scratchy, they're not hard. You've got a good range of colors. And I think you could probably supplement what you didn't have with some of the smaller sets of Tombos rather than going out and buying the huge set and save yourself a little bit of money. But I am going to play around with them a little bit more and see what I can do with them, and I will report back once I've had a good go with them and let you know exactly what I think and whether or not I think they're worth the investment. But in all honesty, for the price, they're so cheap that they were a complete steal, and I really feel like for that reason it's definitely worth buying them, because there's a huge range of colors really. There's a few gaps, I would say, in the color palette, but overall it's pretty good, pretty decent. Anyway, I hope that helps you. I know I'm not the best at doing reviews, but I just wanted to have a play with these and see whether they worked and how they performed and what I could do with them. I'm sure that I will discover more things with them as I play around with them. Perhaps a blender pen. There's no blender pen in the set, but that could be something worth looking at. I don't know if Ohuhu have a blender pen. I would have to research that, but I think Tombow do have a blender pen, so maybe you could use the Tombow blender pen with the Ohuhus. But yeah, I quite like them, and I'm looking forward to having a try around with them. But anyway, I'll leave it at that. Thank you so much for joining me today, and I hope you found it helpful. If you did, please do give it a thumbs up. Please feel free to leave a comment. I would love to hear from you, and please do think about subscribing to my channel. I would love to see you come back and join me again. Thanks everybody, bye.